Hello and welcome to the Historics podcast. We are at Ascot Racecourse in Berkshire, just ahead of the September sale, which happens this Saturday, the 25th of September. Now, we are sat in this very spectacular 1942 International K6 fire engine, which, as you can see, has been transformed into a dining vehicle and sort of like special vehicle, and it is a perfect host for me to welcome today's guests: auction expert Mathew, the incredibly talented Mathew Priddy.
I'm glad you put that in.
Thank you. And from social media, guru and car collector Tom Ekstrom.
Thank you, guru. I like that. I love that.
Are you well?
I am.
Yep.
Always good.
Good. What have you been up to? Tom, we'll start with you.
Today I've been looking around the lots. I took something very special out, and I'm sure that video will be out soon, but I've been having a whale of a time today, Vicky.
Excellent.
Yes.
I've been having a whale of a time myself. I've taken out something very special.
Awesome.
And a core. I took you out, didn't I?
You did.
If you two are just going to flirt the whole way through this, I'm
This
off.
is becoming an ongoing thing
I'm
with
sick
podcasts.
of it, so-
Someone's got to flirt. It's my turn.
You'll have a go in a minute. Pipe down. It'll be all yours.
No comment.
Yeah, we had some fun, didn't we?
We did, yes. Yeah, as I said, I'm not the best passenger, but yeah, it didn't scare me too much.
Yeah, good. And you can see our exploits on the Historics channel. Now then, what have you... Yes, no, it's me. What have I been up to? Thanks for asking. That's really sweet of you.
I never ask people back. Conversation goes quicker then.
Yeah, we got to fill 40 minutes.
Okay. Vicky, what have you been up to?
Oh, thanks for
please
asking.
tell me.
Well, I have actually got nothing to do with cars to tell you, but my exciting news is I've got a puppy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very good. Can we just do this all about dogs, by the way?
She's dogs.
Well, it depends if it goes down well, I suppose, doesn't it? Not the
Always
puppy.
do.
A little Rhodesian Ridgeback
Little?
to go with my big Rhodesian Ridgeback.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Excellent.
very lovely. Yeah, and also I have been driving for Fifth Gear, been doing lots of filming for that, and my YouTube channel. So all been super
YouTube
busy.
channel.
Called The Car Girl. I'm a girl and I like cars. And then just really getting ahead and getting my head into the auction process, because I am up on the stand,
Yes.
bashing the gavel.
Well, I think you've become a natural at it now. I don't think you should keep...
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
Gavel
well,
bashing.
I'm still wearing my L plates. And you have been abroad lately, haven't you?
Well, just sort of abroad, really, isn't it? Just into the Channel Islands. So I went
Yeah.
over to Jersey at the weekend for a wedding, which was lovely.
Yeah.
The weather was like this, which was great.
Aw.
It's an odd place for cars.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, I was told by a taxi driver, who are all completely bonkers over there. Hi, taxi drivers in Jersey. But apparently there's no speed limit that really exceeds 40 miles an hour there. There's only one dual carriageway on the island. But yet there are lots of sports cars.
Yeah.
It seems
Ah.
completely pointless
Yeah.
folly, really. But, strange.
That is
lovely.
odd. Yeah, 125,000 cars were registered in Jersey in the last couple of years. It's 5 miles. 5 miles. Yeah, 5 miles long and 9 miles wide.
Yeah. But it's, we struggled with taxis to get the hold of those to
Did
start
you?
with. But it seems odd reason to have a sports car. That I suppose it's a bit like going down the Marbella sort of circuit, isn't it, in first gear
Round
in your
Puerto
Ferrari,
Banús.
isn't it? You know, I suppose that's all
Your
they do,
favourite.
isn't it? They only go like 12 miles an hour in that
Like
first
you
gear.
looked at me when you said that. I've actually done a lap of the harbour, the
I
port,
knew you
whatever
would.
on
Of
earth
course
it
you
is,
would.
Yes.
in a Ferrari with a body kit on it, and the title of the video, ladies and gentlemen, was Picking Up Girls in
How many
So-
did you manage to pick up?
0. I was amazed by that.
Really?
0.
I'm
I
not.
thought they'd be flocking round.
Was it the car or the driver?
I had Mahmood in the car as well, my illustrious management team.
But then
so
there'd be no place for the girls to sit, so there was a
that
bit
could
of
be
a
why.
flaw in your
That was it,
argument
was it?
there.
That was
we
it.
did
Sorry
pack
about that,
pointy sticks as we thought we'd be needing it.
I think lassos probably would have been better for you.
To be fair, I should have asked Mahmood. He's probably got some in stock.
Right.
Good.
Now then, we have had a lovely day today, and let us reveal now what you have been driving today in the video.
I have been driving an Alfa Romeo Zagato SZ Coupe.
Lovely.
I don't believe the Zagato bit's not supposed to be in there. But it's just a SZ Coupe, but I like putting it in there because it sounds posh. Dream car for me, bucket list car.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it when I saw
Bit
it.
of a
come up.
connoisseur's car, isn't it? It's a proper cars man's
It's
car.
quite
yeah.
nerdy,
Yeah.
but I had a picture of it on my dad's computer.
We were saying
Oh.
earlier, weren't we?
Great.
Saying if you turn up anywhere, most people wouldn't know what it is.
Yeah.
unless you know your cars, then you really do know what that is.
Oh, I just love that car. I first drove one probably 20 years ago and just thought it was just so much fun and really rewarding and engaging to drive.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about cars. And
Absolutely.
we were in an Aston Martin.
We were in a DB5.
We were.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What was it? What were you?
I was
Jane
Bond. Jane Bond.
License to thrill.
Now then, because we have been in a James Bond car today and it is up for auction at
It
just
is.
over £500,000.
It is.
Yep.
Yep.
I thought that we would do a little Bond quiz because the new movie is out very soon. I think there's even a royal premiere next week, in fact, which of course we shall all be invited to.
Of course. Well,
Yeah.
Well,
We
it
are
must be in the post.
Exactly.
There's delays with Royal Mail at the moment, must be.
So, who is ready for a car quiz, Bond quiz? Just a short one, nice quick one. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, question number 1. The latest movie is out soon, but what is it called?
No Time to Die.
Yes!
I feel like I need a little buzz or something.
Where's the bell?
Make up
What do I win?
There's a bell.
nothing. Absolutely zippity zip. Next question.
Okay.
Sean Connery's DB5, as I like to call the DB5, has appeared in No Time to Die. It's also appeared in Goldfinger, which is what I find synonymous. It's also appeared... yeah, anyway, yeah, that. What other films has the DB5 appeared in?
Forget it.
It was,
Okay.
That was in the.
Thank you for your input, Tom.
It was in the latest one before now, wasn't it? With Judi Dench when it went to Scotland. What was that called?
Casino Royale.
No. Quantum of Solace.
Sounds a
I
bit
don't know
too...
anything about Bond.
No.
Nothing.
Skyfall.
That's it.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yes, Skyfall.
Skyfall. And also Casino Royale.
Yes.
No Time... Tomorrow Never Dies. And Thunderball.
So it's no wonder it's the James Bond
Yeah.
car, isn't it? So that's,
Yeah.
that's
There's
more than
all
I
of them.
remember.
I know.
Mm.
Wow.
It's in,
There
yeah.
you go.
There might have been more as well that somebody might
I'm sure they'll tell us.
chirp up about. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you
Which-
write in the comments and abuse us on
No,
YouTube.
please
or
don't.
They're
wherever.
already there, I'm sure.
Which Little French Fancy appeared in For Your Eyes Only?
I've never even heard of that film, so.
You've never heard of For Your Eyes Only?
Is that a Bond film?
Yes.
Well, from what year?
80s.
So French car. It wasn't when it was the Renault 19 and they cut the roof off. No.
Bear in
I've
mind,
given
I'm
you a
only
li-
21, so. I
Yeah,
would-
whatever. It's I've a Little French Fancy. Little Citroën de Chevaux.
Oh, which watch? That
Yeah.
was.
It was in For Your Eyes Only.
Oh, do you know? I didn't remember that.
Yeah, it's a cracking, really good, sort of almost off-roading, going downstairs scene. It's really lovely.
I'm learning stuff today. This is great.
Which car did Pierce Brosnan drive around a multi-storey car park in from the back seat?
That was the BMW 730i.
Right, I'll give you 7 Series, so
Yes.
well done. Yeah.
I remember
work.
that one.
And-
That's that sort of bang on era. That's when sort of growing up watching that.
Yeah. And the last one from me, what did Roger Moore do as he drove out of the sea in the white Lotus Esprit S1 in The Spy Who Loved Me?
One. Oh, I'm just trying to think of that scene. Did he wind down the
Tom,
window?
He did.
Put something out.
What did he do?
Was it seaweed or something? Or oh no, I can't remember.
He's in the sea. What could he be bringing out?
Fish.
Yes.
Ah.
He drops a fish out the window. Tom, you need to go home tonight and wall to wall,
Yeah.
back to back, watch
It's a waste
Bond
of time.
films.
We've already done the
But
quiz.
also, how did the fish get in the car?
Oh yeah, because it was supposed to be sealed. Because
I
it
mean,
turned into the.
talk about continuity, which you know.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
how did the fish get in?
That is annoying, actually, yeah.
Oh, do you know? I've only
I
ever
might
thought
dodge
about
that one.
continuity now.
But that's James Bond movies all over, isn't it? They're
Yeah,
always a
exactly.
bit sort of tongue in cheek.
It's not just a DB5 of a Bond car that we have here.
No, so we've got a few of the sort of I call them fringe cars. Some of them are more Bond than others. We've got a Lotus Esprit
Yeah.
Series 2, which was in the Alps in Italy for.
Spy Who Loved Me and Your Eyes Only.
That's it. And we've got a Sunbeam Alpine. Alpine
yeah,
was
yeah.
the first Bond
Yeah.
car, wasn't
And
it?
the Citroen 2CV we have here.
Yeah.
Which
up
you're
for
going to bid
auction.
on.
I really want that car.
Please do.
It's got 4,000 miles. That's all it's done, and its estimate is from £12,000 to £15,000. I mean, it's.
Get it done.
You've got to bid on it.
I love. I really love
You're
driving
allowed to
them.
bid on it. You can't be the auctioneer
no.
for that one.
Oh,
you
yeah.
see. You'll have to get.
Have to step
You'll have
down.
to
The
go
winner
home
is-
tonight and.
Me.
Yes.
Go home, all of you.
Would anyone like to bid? Oh no, never mind.
What about Aston Martins then in years to come, value-wise? do they, because they're so synonymous with James Bond movies, does that give them an extra edge?
It always gives them an edge because it always keeps them relevant.
Yeah.
We were talking about this a little earlier about Aston Martin owners. They don't tend to be short of a bob or two.
Yeah.
It all depends on sort of how they work their mass-produced cars. I think the more you mass-produce a car, I think the more you soften it a little bit. And Porsche probably be the only company that haven't really suffered from that with the 911s. But the more they bring out things like Bond cars and keep themselves synonymous with that, the idea of being ultra cool, even when it is a little bit sort of tongue-in-cheek, I think the more they'll continue to hold their value. And the DB5 is the perfect example. It's still, to this day, still getting huge restorations, still people paying up to £1 million for them. It's still being used in the Bond movie. And then people covet the latest DBS or the Vanquish when it was out there. So there'll always be a sort of stampede because they're in the Bond movie, even if the Bond movie isn't that well received.
Yeah.
It's a bit quintessentially British.
What about the DBX SUV? So this is Aston's sort of new big car, 160
and
grand.
That brings me to the point of possibly diluting, and it's very, very, very touchy ground whether that works or not. I mean, it looks great, probably drives great, but is it what you want an Aston Martin to be? It will sell like hotcakes.
But it will be their sort of saving car, hopefully,
like
so that they need like exactly.
But how many times they've had that with the DB9? It saved them. Then it was there's always something that saves them.
Well, I'm glad that they're writing such dramas for us. But hopefully, this will now set them on a good path for
let's hope they
security.
That makes money and they can produce more on better and better supercars and sports cars. I mean, they're spending enough money just wasting it in Formula One, probably, aren't they? So.
I'm glad you spoke about the DBX. It's not my cup of tea, shall we say. The front looks like a Ford Cougar and the back just looks like a fart.
There is something about Aston Martin lights and Ford Focus, Ford Fiesta lights with the LEDs.
Well, the Aston Martin DB7 had the Ford Mondeo key, I remember, and certain switchgear
probably
in it.
not such a bad thing, to be fair. It's probably a very reliable part.
Probably the only. The DB7s, to be fair, I was looking around earlier and we've got a couple here. And the later Vantage cars, and I still think they are epic value. They were a bit part spin at the time, but they're fabulously designed. And I actually really, really, really think they're good value. Yeah. Personally, it would be the later engine Vantage car, but I think they're all pretty good value because they are cheaper than you'd really expect, especially in good condition. I wouldn't go for a high mileage one personally, but I think they've got a fair way to go with values, and they're a good collector car.
Yeah. Well, I like the modern DBX as well. That's a tick from me. And you can watch it on my YouTube channel.
Oh, a penny drops.
That whole thing was just designed to get it in there.
Not at all. Would you like to be...
I won't be invited to that YouTube channel, obviously. I'm sorry.
Tom, would you like to be James Bond or a villain?
A villain, please, Vicki.
Okay.
I definitely
Matt,
want to be a James Bond.
You do?
Yeah, I don't know why. Just that childlike thing.
Yeah.
I just really want to be the spy. I think the one that sort of gets away with it. And it's not bad. The rewards of the women are a bit better than the villains.
I was going to say, the ladies thing's surely going to creep in.
Especially for James Bond. It's what, three a movie normally, isn't it, that he gets through?
Yeah, it's not bad going. I don't know how he has time for it within the... Busy, active role.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Go on, and would you be Jane Bond or would you be a villain?
I would like to be James. I would obviously like to be the main character, the centre part. But of all the Bond girls that there have been, I would like to be Maud Adams. She was in 2 Bond movies. She was Octopussy.
I'm going to have to Google this, I think.
And she was also in Man with the Golden Gun. So she's, I think, the only woman who has played in two roles. 2 roles, yeah. Class act. And in Octopussy, she was a bit evil, so that was quite cool.
Perfect. Did you get wiped out in the second film, or haven't I? Did she?
I don't want to give away the ending because you now need to watch the whole box set.
You're on a Bond marathon.
The next week is going to be devoted. I'm just going to clear my diary and just watch Bond films now.
I wish I could do that.
Get all your subscribers watch with you. Oh yeah, you'd lose numbers.
No worse than what I'm doing at the moment.
What about pics of the auction then? What's caught your eye?
Well, Tom, what would you personally like?
I'm actively planning on bidding on that Alpha, so that's a pick for me.
Wowza,
so
yeah.
If I could put off the entire audience away from bidding on that, it's rubbish. Don't bid on it. Because I want to bid on that. But other than that, I'm a sucker for a pagoda. You've got a couple of nice ones.
Yes, yeah.
Green on tan. There's a couple of those knocking around. They look really, really nice. So I love the pagoda. They're my picks for now.
I've struggled to sort of put my finger on the one I like most.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of been between three. That strangely, the modern Mustang I just think is amazing because of the ridiculous options list. We've spoken about it before. But I think it's probably between... There's a Corvette Stingray C2, which I really like. Just is beautifully restored. Big block engine. It's 427 engine. That's nice. Or the AC Ace. And I said when I did my walkthrough earlier that it's just a sort of prettier Cobra. I know it's a straight 6-engine AC engine, but it is absolutely gorgeous. And I do like that. And then from the fun stuff, I mean, I was looking at the Mercedes 7-seater 220 T8, and I was thinking, why do I need to have a 7-seater great big SUV? I'll just buy one of those for the same price as the extra seats and just run it, and it'd be brilliant. Pick the kids up from school, knock into anything. Yeah. But so there's some fun things.
This is fun.
I was going to say, fire truck for you, Vicki.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not the only fire truck that is in the auction.
2.
Can you believe it?
Yeah,
they're like buses.
The other one's Land Rover, isn't it?
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it's just over that way. But yeah, this one is just unbelievable. I mean, the chap who owns it is taking it to Goodwood and with his friends and had great fun with it. So.
More of a banter bus than anything, isn't it?
Yeah, and it comes with a microwave and a kitchen sink and full crockery set.
Kettle. The full lot.
Thank God for that. I was going to ask, actually, does it have all of those?
Yeah. and then helmets and hoses.
Oh yeah, helmets and hoses is a must. You can drive this on your normal road licence.
Amazingly.
Yeah.
Actually, I drove it into position a minute ago. It's not that difficult to drive. I won't say that too. I don't fancy taking it down the high street, but it is strangely easy to drive, but impossible to gauge where everything is. Yeah. It's just no idea. So, I've got to reverse this back tomorrow, and it will take 6 people to sort of direct me around.
Got some overhangs and what have you.
Yeah, otherwise I'll be taking out glass statues of horses.
What other things do we think we can drive using our normal road licence?
Well, I've sold some strange cars that you can do on your own licence. There's a Daimler Scouts. We've sold a couple of those. Now, they tend to be
sold. What do they look like?
Right, let me show you. So, a Daimler Scout. So, that basically looks a bit like a military vehicle, but isn't. I think it's just on a sort of Daimler chassis and made up to like that. Most people I know that have ever owned them have their own little bit of land. Yeah. They make this easy to drive. They are impossible to drive because you're basically in there looking through the turrets. Yeah. So you're sat in effect, a tank, trying to drive, but you can only see through 2 portholes at any given time. And it really wants to have cameras and things around the... So that's a strange... And we sold a couple of those.
Wow.
But normal licence. I don't know how it's allowed on the road.
Yeah.
I don't know. You would take it on the road, but it has a registration.
Yeah.
But that would be chaos, as to use a phrase of yours, Tom.
No, that would probably be chaos. Just end up... I'm just imagining now, Kings Road... Sunday off for brunch in that.
It just
hitting things.
Yeah, hitting things, wouldn't you? Like, didn't realise that. Sorry.
Just bins dragging out of it and just kind of just detritus.
If they start throwing things, you just close the hatch.
Yeah, you can just continue on your merry way. How much are these?
They're £10,000-15,000.
You're joking me.
They're not a great deal of money.
Wow.
For the trouble you can cause in that, that is good bang for buck.
So what else? What else have you? You've driven a few crazy cars. I am sure.
Driven a few, but this one. I'm quite jealous of your portholes because this is me and former Marine Aldo Kane, who's like just a superhero. And he taught me how to drive this massive, great big truck. It's called a Ranger. And I use night vision stuff, really. So I couldn't see where we were going. We were going around an obstacle course and up and down hills in mud and all sorts of trees overhanging, and just using the night vision. I had nothing, I couldn't see out.
Oh my God.
It was really, and I felt claustrophobic in it, and it was, but the thing is, if I'd have hit anything or taken down a tree, you don't really feel it.
No. So
I'd never know what I've done.
Similar to that, so Mark's Tumbler Batmobile is all done on cameras.
Oh, is it? So this is Mark who runs Historics.
Yeah, and it feels that you're never quite sure because your perceptions are all wrong. Although you've got 4 cameras looking at all corners, you're never quite sure if that's real. You never can I trust it? Can I trust it? And then, of course, it's got huge, great big tractor tyres.
Yes.
Either all 4 corners. So you're just thinking, am I hitting anything? But that's odd. Again, I'm not sure. I mean, you can theoretically drive it on the road, but I don't think it would be classified as completely legal. Yeah. It's probably just for show purposes. Yes. But the same thing, when you've got in the night vision or you've got any cameras to try and drive, because that could be some sort of future. I'm not sure I completely...
Those horrible little wing mirrors on the e-tron.
Yeah.
They are the most appalling things I've ever seen put on a production car.
So I can't even trust any electronic camera when I'm reversing.
There's always a delay.
Yeah, so these are little they look like little the ears really.
Yeah.
But they're inside the car, down probably where your eyesight doesn't naturally go, and
Exactly
it's just a camera. It's not even it's no mirrors.
No.
Mirrors we can trust more,
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
than
when I
cameras.
hit reverse and the camera comes up in the car, I don't look at it. I use the 3 mirrors that I've got, and I always have.
Yeah.
And the parking sensors I've learned to live with, but
There's always a delay on them, though, isn't there? Yeah, those cameras are awful because you're right. It doesn't. Your eye line. You want to be looking out the window as well as looking at your mirrors,
Yeah.
but you can't. You have to look into the door.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
So what else? What other crazy cars have you been able to
what
drive?
have I done?
You've got this
So
crazy
this thing here, this is like, this is like a bulletproof rescue truck. This was in, I think, Romania. I did that. That was pretty
That's pretty
hardcore,
epic, isn't it?
Yeah. But that goes out through streams, crushes mountains. So that was pretty epic.
I did a quick Google search, knowing we were going to talk about this, and I did find an aeroplane car that is legal to drive, and in the States, these wings, the wings on either side, fold up in the air, presumably lesser than a sort of an Arctic height.
Yeah.
And then you can physically drive it on the roads. I would have thought much more practical when flying.
Yeah.
But it was genuinely, I think it's on sale now.
Wow.
I think people presumably are trying to drive them.
Yeah.
They're probably pretty impractical.
Yeah.
But it is sort of a great idea if you live near a private airfield, I suppose.
Lovely.
You just pop it home, pop it around to the airfield, off you go.
Into the garage,
Yeah.
into a very tall garage.
Theory is fantastic. Yeah.
But completely on a normal license.
Wow.
No specifics. I mean, you
Yeah.
need an airplane license to get those.
I was going to say.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Getting past.
Just bring out your driving license when you pull up. Sorry,
Yeah.
no, okay. But I mean, the interesting here, I think, is also this one normal license, and I believe also that great big amphibious duck,
Yep.
which we mentioned last time. That again, I mean,
On a
I think
normal
that's
license.
even more chaos than this. That is just that great big green duck thing.
That's
Brilliant.
perfect.
That's
Unbelievable.
again normal.
No more
license.
traffic for you.
What about fast cars? Because obviously, I always find this amazing as well. You can drive with a normal license, having just passed your test, any car that you can afford.
Yeah. I know.
So we're talking cars nowadays that are
700, 800 horsepower.
Yeah.
I know.
I've always said this. You should need to do like a Pass Plus or something.
Yeah.
Remember Pass Plus?
Yeah. It makes much more sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, like the motorcycle thing where you have to gear yourself up through.
Yep.
It's
I
just.
know a lot of manufacturers, they do offer, a day to come to a local circuit or the handling facility and to test
Usually
the
just
cars
to
out.
scare the
But
poor guy that's
most
trying to teach
people
you.
don't take it up.
No.
Most people don't bother.
Porsche do the thing at Silverstone with the skid pan and they
Absolutely.
do the kick plate and whatever.
Yeah.
Then you realise that you're actually completely incompetent behind the wheel. Then you go home
And try it
and
anyways.
ignore anything you've ever been taught anyway.
I hope you don't. I
No.
hope you go home and put
I'm
it
very
into
competent.
practice.
Nat.
Any other business, gentlemen?
Well, you're bidding on a car, aren't you? You've decided to buy something you don't need. I've decided to buy something I don't need, which only leaves you.
Right,
Yes,
so
that's a
I've
good
got to buy
point.
something, have I?
That you don't need.
That I really don't
If
need.
I
You'd
said
like.
you have to buy something, imagine a weird scenario. I say you absolutely have to buy something with your own money today. You have to.
Yep.
It's non-negotiable.
Yep.
What is it?
It's a toss-up between an old Range Rover Vogue, which I would
Yeah.
just use as literally just a chaos thing. I keep saying chaos. That's you getting
this
that
is
into
what
my
happens,
head.
mate. Yeah, I'm
don't know,
eroding.
where does it come from?
Your vocabulary.
Yeah.
I will do this.
So
Be
yeah, there's a
careful.
Range Rover Vogue over there, which is a bit I'd sort of rat look it really, and just use it for fun. Just I don't know what I would do with it, or genuinely that Mercedes with 7 seats because I'm boring and have children now. I don't think anything fun at the moment because I couldn't afford it. This is a sad truth.
Okay, money, no object. What would you have? I would go for the DB5.
Would
tick,
you?
tick, tick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I would as well.
Would you?
Money, no object. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd barrel in
yeah,
one of those. Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking. I would go for the McLaren MP4
Yeah.
+12.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent choice.
I think they're bang for buck. I've not been the biggest fan of McLaren, but I think
Well,
bang
that
for
one,
buck, that car.
I said again, I spoke about it earlier. It is the one of all the modern McLarens that I would say is the better car, unless
think so
you can
too.
go right to the top of the tree, of course. But whenever I've got in one and driving them, it's one of the few cars that I have absolute confidence where every corner is
Yeah, they are.
immediately,
Yeah.
like,
Spectacularly
amazingly,
built.
like straight away. You just feel like you can go.
The design is
It's-
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
And as long as I had it in a warranty, I think that's the car. Because I think you could use it every day. I think
They're
it's
really
a
comfortable. Suspension's
viable.
magic.
I genuinely would put that alongside like owning a 911. I'm sure the 911 is much more sensible, much more easier to live with, but I'd much rather the McLaren.
And you got silly doors on the McLaren.
Oh, yeah.
And even
Everyone needs silly
every time
doors.
you got to get used to getting the right sort of wave underneath it, don't you? Because there's no button, and if you don't get it right the first time, you just look silly. Bloody doors.
My one didn't open when I had one. That's another story. But it's a guessing game every time. It's good. Kept you thinking.
Kept you on your toes. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So what if you're a first-time collector or first-time buyer at an auction? What would you recommend? I have my eye on the Volkswagen Beetle over there, which is in a very tidy condition.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of SLs this time around, and SLs are a really good entry into classics.
Yeah.
They're pretty bulletproof.
Yeah.
You obviously check for the standard things, but they're pretty bulletproof. They're very good on value at the moment. They've gone up over the last year in value, and they're not set to fall. And you can easily live with them. So if you're really getting into it, ease yourself into it. They're great value.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, for me, I always say the more fun you can have, bang for your buck, then why not? It's never usually your car you drive every day. And we're sitting next to a silly little thing like a little John Cooper S there.
Oh,
It's
yes.
something like that. I mean, they're great fun little cars. But I think as much as you can get, as good as you can get, don't buy poor examples. Buy the best you can buy. It's always the best advice.
Yeah, lovely.
Oh, probably the same. You know, if you've done a few restorations, so maybe not always the case.
I've followed the opposite mantra, and it's got very painful, very long-winded, and very expensive. So I can vouch for that, having done it completely the wrong way. Yeah. I've bought shockers and thought, how bad can they be?
Yeah, see it.
Really bad.
Yeah, because I tend to have that same thing. If I want to make something perfect, that is difficult.
So expensive and
I mean, I can understand the want to do it if you've got the because the idea you buy a car. God, the Countach restoration project, perfect example, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you want to go and buy a Lamborghini Countach, you've got to pay a lot of money, and it might not be exactly how you want it, or might not be as good as you want it. But if you buy a restoration project, I can understand the idea of I can make it exactly what I want, as good as I want to, and I wouldn't be surprised if that. I mean, I think that will do really well.
Yeah.
Restoration projects have done well for the last 5 years. Really, the people just really go for that.
They've just had that relaunch version of the Countach. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So that's obviously stoked some interest in them as now.
And that was actually consigned before that, so it was really good timing by the customer. I don't think he realised it was just
really good time. What did you make of that when they brought that out, the new Countach? Do you like it?
I quite
or would you go for
it.
a fully sorted? Because the price of that new one is $2 million thereabouts. So you get a fully sorted, like whichever model you wanted.
Yeah, it's a bit too much in the money. I liked it, but that's a big.
I mean, you wouldn't kick it out of bed, but
No.
you ate £2 million.
It's a hell of a big number, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a bit punchy. It's basically an Aventador. Did you see inside it?
Yeah, it is very Aventador, so it wasn't quite but. Well, then you sort of hark back to this thing of, well, why don't you just buy the original and then, as you say, fully sort it, and then you know it's worth that money, because that's always going to be a car that's not going to drop its value. It's always going to be a poster car.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what advice would you give to somebody who wants to come to the auction and buy for the first time? What's the first step that they should do?
I'm now listening to this.
Yes, well, you really should come. I mean, if you can, come. If you can't get to us, contact us, because whoever consigns the cars, they have a duty of care to speak to you about the car. So learn as much as you can about the specific car you're coming to know. I mean, obviously do a bit of research on what makes those cars good and bad. If you can, get them inspected. People seem to get this feeling that you can't inspect a car at an auction, which is completely untrue. We've had an inspection on 3 cars today.
Okay.
So, educate yourself, make sure you've got the best possible car you can buy, and then once you've done that, ask any questions. You're in the best position, and you're probably in a better position than most people you're bidding against.
Yeah. And register to bid.
Nice and easy.
Yeah,
if you're
online.
here, there are guys here that can register you. If you do it online, you just go to the website, historics.co.uk, and it should be relatively, but always, any problems, call. That's what we're here for.
And you can bid in person here on Saturday or online.
Yeah.
And I will be up with my gavel taking your bids on some of the cars.
And don't wave in the auction room.
Yeah, that's always a good one. Yeah.
I amaze people still do it. I mean, there's been a joke for years, and yet still we get people waving at their friends in the auction thinking, where have you been?
Tom, what plans for you for the rest of the week?
Bits and bobs, lots of editing, driving around in circles, putting GoPros in the windows of my cars and talking about stuff. Nothing I can reveal at this moment in time. It's all very mysterious and important.
Okay. And you have a couple of woofers at home as well that you need to look after.
I do have a couple of woofers. Yes.
Yeah.
Couple of woofers.
Are you wooferless or
No,
wooferful?
I've got a little Irish Terrier at home.
Oh.
Though he's getting a bit old on now. He's getting 7 years old, so he's quieter. He's nice subdued. Poor thing as well is number 3 to the children. So.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3.
No,
You what? You put the dog below the children?
It's what happens when you become a parent,
Yes.
Tom.
Surely not. I can't believe that for a second.
It is true.
Well, at least I couldn't say that on camera, Tom.
Yeah, I was going to say, keep that to yourself.
Yeah. And just give us the opening times then for the rest of the week.
So we are 9 to 5 Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the auction will start at 9:30 on Saturday. It'll run probably till about 4 o'clock. So you do join us. If you're coming along, you will need a catalogue, which you can purchase one though on the door. So with a bit of luck, you'll come down. It's lovely weather. We couldn't want for better weather.
Yummy, isn't it? Such a beautiful surrounding as well, Royal Ascot Raceway.
Yes. And the next auction will be at Mercedes-Benz World.
Ooh.
So a bit of a change of scenery.
In Brooklyn, Surrey.
Yes, in the Brooklands race circuit.
My grandfather used to race a Fraser Nash at Brooklands.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
So that would be a nice nice
Yeah.
place for me to go and sort of breathe in some air that has poured out of his car at some point.
Get you out on the track.
In a set of wheels, yes, because I'm not climbing up it. I've done it once. It's so steep. So steep. Well, all that's left for us to say is goodbye, really.
Yes. Oh, and look out for the next podcast, which will be back at HQ in Leafy, Buckinghamshire. So that will be in a month's time.
Yep. Without you and I, Tom, we're persona non grata for that one.
After our behaviour.
Unfortunately, worryingly, I'll be flying that one. So if they've got boys from the office with me, that will be interesting.
Yes, I will look forward to watching
Fingers on the
that.
beat machine.
Yeah, if I'm on the phone,
Say that.
Vicky, why can't I control them?
Right, well, thank you so much. And do come down to Ascot Racecourse for the auction on Saturday, and we will see you soon.